Meryle Holland, and I'm going to show you some demonstrations on triple embossing, or embossing art as I like to call it, using lots of techniques, some that you've seen and I can guarantee some that you've never seen. And through all this I'm hoping that you will be inspired and you will have the enthusiasm to use the things that are in your craft box and your craft cupboard to make something quite stunning and very, very, very unique. I will take you through as many different techniques as I can, and I do hope you enjoy it. The first thing I'm going to do is to make a little ceramic looking tile. This is with the UT powder, which is ultra thick embossing enamel. And what I'm doing is I'm going to put a little tile onto some mount board and then do it 3 times with the clear enamelling. So what I've done is I've cut a little self-adhesive tile out and I'm going to stick it onto a piece of mount board. This is mount board that I've actually painted with the pearl fabric, but you can use any piece of mount board. I'm going to stick that on, make sure it's stuck round at the edges, and then cut round it. Scissors will cut the mount board quite easily. You then have a little tile. I'll just make that a little bit tidier and a little bit neater. You then have a little tile. Take some clear embossing ink and make sure that you squidge, or whatever you want to call it, onto the tile so that it's covered in ink. You then pop it face down into the thick embossing powder so that it looks as if it's been covered with a sugar. That means that the powder is stuck to it and you will get a glaze. Now, you only do the ink on the first coat. You then use the heat gun. Depending on the heat gun you have, you may have to hold it nearer or further away. You will know your own heat gun. Carry on until the powder melts. It doesn't have to be terribly smooth at this stage. All you're doing is melting the powder. As soon as it's melted, pick it up and pop it back face down into the powder again for a second time. You do not need to ink it the second time because it will hold on to the heated powder. Do exactly the same again. And when that one's melted, straight back into the powder for the 3rd and final time. Now on this one, on this coat, you have to keep going until it's as smooth as glass. If there are any little air bubbles or holes in, just keep going and tease them out. And that will take about a minute to cool. You then have a little tile, and because I've used a pearl medium on the tile itself, it's picked up the intensity on the mount board and the tile is on it, and that's it. It's like a little piece of glass. That will in effect finish up and stay like that and looking like a little small enamel tile. Now you can add variations. That's one that I've done on a different coloured piece of mount board. Again, it's a little tile that I've done. Then I've put a peel off at the bottom and just popped some little waste things from the peel off on the side. That's another effect of using the same thing. On this one, I've done exactly the same, only I cut out a butterfly and did it. And then on the final coat, I just dropped some cut up pieces of Fantata film and just drop them into it. So there's all sorts of different ways that you can make the little tiles. I'm now going to show you how to stamp into a piece of mount board. Again, I'm going to take, I will use a piece of the same mount board, and I will use the embossing ink. It's still embossing ink, it's just that I'm using it from a bottle this time instead of from the pad. So it's exactly the same principle. Once onto there, into the powder, and heat it up. I'm just going to do 3 coats and then I'm going to stamp into it. That's the first coat melted. I'm going to pick it up and pop it straight back into the powder again. Second coat looks exactly the same as if it's been covered in sugar. So I'm now going to heat that one. Just keep going until it's melted. 2 coats may be enough, but I actually prefer 3. So once again, up and into the clear powder, and I'm going to just do it for the final coat, and then I'm going to stamp it into it. We need a good, deep, edged stamp. There we are. Now I'm just going to stamp into it. Don't press it too hard. If you do slip and you do it too soon or not soon enough, just reheat it and do it again. You just can't go wrong with it. Now that has given a nice little effect, and because you've got the nice colour on the mount board, it's intensified it. Now you could leave it like that, or if you wanted to highlight it, you could highlight it with metallic rub-ons or anything else that you've got. So you could just highlight and you will get a totally different effect. In this case I'm using a silver one, but you've then got the effect of the mount board going on underneath, and you've got that. You could also colour in the little edges or put tiny little jewels in. It's entirely up to you. You know, it's your creation, not mine. I'm only just showing you the techniques. So that's another way of doing it, and I'm now going to show you. That's it done on a different one, and that's without the highlight on. So it's the same sort of principle. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of